Hey, Bo, can you tell us about this commercial painting franchise that you think is a really good place to be?
I would love to.
All right. So, what sets it apart from other home service businesses?
Well, this particular brand is the only that I know of, at least, the only painting franchise that's specifically focused on commercial painting. And so I think there's a huge opportunity. It's an emerging franchise, meaning there's a lot of wide open territory. And I think this year they're gonna really grow over the next 12 to 24 months. So when you get into an emerging franchise, that's when you can get really good. We call it real estate, right? You get the good zip codes, the good locations. So I'm excited about this business model. It's got great growth potential, and I like it because they use a subcontractor model.
Okay, great. So, many people assume a painting business is all ladders and labor. How does this model use systems and subcontractors to scale?
So you could start just by yourself, and eventually, as you grow, you're going to have maybe another supporting salesperson and an ops person. The ops person builds relationships and manages the subs that you work with, and the salesperson could be just yourself, uh, or vice versa. You hire a salesperson and you're the ops person. So you really only need one other person to grow this business. Now, as you grow, you might bring on another additional ops person, another salesperson, but another business model with low overhead. Why I like commercial painting is because, well, one is there's not a lot of franchises that are like specialists in commercial painting. Most of them are residential and they dabble in commercial, where this franchise is strictly commercial. And when you're looking at commercial jobs, they're significantly larger, which means you're not running like on a hamster wheel, doing having to do so many projects. You might land a project that's decent size, but you also might handle a project that is $1 million contract. I'm not saying that's an average job, but the point is that's the potential. They've landed some huge projects in Arizona, in Las Vegas, in the markets that they're in. And I did say it was an emerging franchise, but they actually started in 2007, so they're very well established. They've started franchising in 2024, but they have, it dates back to 2007 when they started the business. And so they have their corporate flagship location here in Las Vegas. Um, they have another one in Utah and one in Colorado. Those are owned. It's got a great story. They were actually, this business model started back when these three gentlemen were in college and they were in a business class and they did a project on a business they would start. One of the one of the guys in the class took the project and actually launched the business here in Las Vegas. And today that's their flagship location, which does like $14 million in top line revenue. Now that's they've been around for a long time, so they have brand recognition now here. Then they opened another one, and then the two other people that did the project with them, a couple years later, they saw that it was taking off, and then they opened one. I don't know the exact, but one was opened in Colorado, or not Colorado, Arizona, and then one was opened in Utah. And those are the three people that did the project together. So they eventually all got into the business, and then they opened a satellite office to see if they could do it remotely to show that this would make a great franchise model. And then they opened that, and that took off. Then they built out the franchise systems. So it's a great time to get in this business model. They have about 10 locations now. So that's what I call an emerging franchise. But what I like about this emerging franchise is they're, I don't know, almost 20 years old, really, right? 2007 when they started. So they've got a proven track record. It's not like they came up with an idea and then they're like, hey, we're successful. We started it last year. No, there's a long track record. I like the fact that you have subcontractors. You don't have much recurring expenses. You have your marketing, your cost of labor, your subcontractors, your insurance, but you're not buying equipment. You don't need a brick and mortar location. There's another one. Your average investment range, I don't have it in front of me, but it's, between, let's just call it 175 to 250, and that's for 2 territories, I believe. Don't hold me to it, but I can get you the exact numbers on the FTD. So another great lower cost franchise model, low employee count. Now this doesn't have recurring revenue, but there's a lot of big jobs. You need far less jobs than in the residential space. Like a residential, you would say, what's your average ticket for a paint job? This might be 3 or 4 or 5 times greater than that average ticket on the residential side. And then you can do, casinos, churches, schools, multifamily properties, commercial, all sorts of commercial properties. So another thing here is you need somebody that's going to drive this business. You need a empire builder type mentality, somebody that's not afraid to go talk to property managers, network. But the average ticket for these jobs is significant. So I'm really, and the margins are great on this business too. Whenever you have a subcontractor model, so I would say the same thing. You need somebody that's going to be a go-getter, but it is low overhead versus like some of the other industries like restoration. I had a guy looking at this business model versus restoration. He said that he ended up going with this painting business because the lower overhead. He looked at restoration. The monthly expenses were a lot more, and he thought that would stress him a little bit. Plus, he said it fit his lifestyle better. So I do think this is a nice business and can become a lifestyle business. Obviously, the first 12, 24 months, you're really pounding to get to win the bids. They help you from A to Z, help you get to how to interview the subcontractors, building relationships with your wholesale paint providers like Sherwin-Williams, PPG. And so I think it's a great brand.
What kind of returns are franchisees seeing, and how does this compare to the initial investment?
Sure. So, it depends if you're doing 1 or 2 territories, but let's just say the investment range is 175 to 225, 250. We don't, as franchise consultants or brokers, we don't make earnings claims. Like you're gonna get to look at the FDD, and so what you really want to solve for is what is an average ticket? What does an average job look like? When you spread all the jobs, is it 30 grand? Is it 50 grand? Once you know what that looks like, then you're going to talk to a lot of owners that own this franchise. Now, this is an emerging franchise, so you're going to have to spend a little bit more time figuring out your numbers. But the FDD, when this one comes out, we'll have more information on it because obviously this is now they're going to have 2024 numbers on it because we finished the year. So when the new franchise disclosure document comes out, so what we do as franchise brokers or consultants, whatever you want to call us, is we help you navigate the process. We help you give you tools and resources. Once you have your initial conversation with the franchisor, they're gonna have you sign a franchise disclosure document, which is the big 300-page document. Inside that document, there's 23 items. You're going to review item 19 with the franchise development representative. They're going to go over what's disclosed on the item 19. From there, I'm going to give you some tactical suggestions on how to get more information from other owners because they can tell you anything, right? Because they're not the franchisor. So when you build relationship, we call this validation calls. So then that's a next step forward. So that's what you have to do because they don't have 200 locations, right? Like on their FDD last year, their top affiliate or corporate location did $14 million. The other ones did several $1 million. You can see that. This new FDD, which I haven't seen, is going to disclose more numbers. And then you take all that and you have multiple conversations with other franchise owners to understand, hey, what does an average ticket look like for you? And then some of it is geographic, based on where you reside, right? A job in, let's just call it, expensive part of California is going to cost more than in the Midwest, right? Like a commercial paint job. So you have to take in all those, that kind of unit economics and geographic information. So it's not like you're going to have exact numbers in the beginning, but you have to work towards it. I mean, on any franchise model, you have to make some assumptions. Now, if it's an established franchise and they have 300 locations, it's a little bit easier to kind of break down. But there is an upside by getting into an emerging franchise because you get bigger territories, you pick the right territories, and it's ripe for disruption. So that's where it's at. So I can't give you an exact answer about when you're going to get your ROI, but let's just face it, it's low overhead. You're going to understand what your average job ticket price is, and you're going to work your numbers from there. As you're going through, if you decide to get SBA financing, you're going to build out projections. And I encourage everybody, even if you could pay cash, to build your projections out so you can sit when you're talking to people and you're saying, okay, how long did it take to get your first job? What did your first 6 months look like once you open the doors? And then you can figure out and what would make the most sense, because everybody's going to have a little bit different, because there's some people that are going to be top performers, some people are average, and some people are below average. I don't know what you're going to be. Hope that helped.
So, you kind of touched on this, but what kind of person would thrive in this franchise? And as a follow up, do you need painting experience?
You don't need painting experience at all. There, the corporate office, the team, leadership team, they're going to be helping you throughout. They have processes, systems, marketing. What you need to be, in my opinion, for this business to really do well is, one is to be a people person and to be likable, and every day going out and doing some outreach, whether that's belly to belly or that's calling property managers and property owners, and ultimately it becomes a numbers game. How many quotes or bids you do versus how many convert to sales. And so it's going to take somebody that is a go-getter. I think almost any business you have to be a go-getter, but this business is, look, people need to paint their property, not just for cosmetic appearance, but for longevity of these properties. So it's just getting in front of people and being able to bid the job, at a good price, a competitive price, and to win the bids, and then facilitate the subcontractors finishing the paint job in a timely manner, and then getting referrals and building more relationships. So you got to be a business development type of person to be successful in this business.
All right. What kind of support is built into the system, especially for somebody who is launching their first service-based business?
Well, so you're going to get a lot of support. Most people that go into different franchise models typically don't have experience with let's just look at this like painting. Now, I mean, painting's not rocket science, but there is an art to painting, right? Like, and over time, but since you're using a subcontractor model, so you're going to get support on how to vet subcontractors. You're going to have the leadership team helping you vet subcontractors. You're going to have them helping you bid the jobs with their technology. How do you bid the jobs? You're going to have that and more. Obviously, a lot of the marketing, the branding of the franchise. It's not yet a household name, but over time, I think the brand will grow and grow and grow. As an emerging franchise, you're getting in early. But I would say another value prop in my mind is when there's a good business model and they're growing, you're not getting watered down training, because you're getting training from the ownership team. As they grow and they have 200 locations, everything gets watered down. So I think they have more incentive to really push to make sure you're successful, because that's the way they're going to grow their franchise, right? By their first 20, 30, 40 candidates that come through and become franchise owners, as it doesn't work if they're not successful. So I think as you validate, you'll find that out, that people are happy in this business model. So I would say you're going to get all the support you need and more. You're going to eventually learn how to bid jobs. They're going to help you in the beginning, because you're going to need help. But the idea of franchising is investing into other proven business model with systems, processes, and all the things you need to be successful. You just got to use the playbook and follow your coach.
All right. So, last question is, and it's really a couple questions. What's the growth potential here? Are we talking about like a side hustle, a six-figure business, or something more? And what is the key to scaling this business? Is it multi-territory, multiple locations? What is it?
Look, I'm just giving like the high level overview. We have a whole process where you're going to talk to the franchise development. You're going to go through a lot of steps before you ever make a decision. We actually don't want you to just talk to one different franchisor. We want you to look at a handful of businesses and then narrow it down to talk to two or three. But yeah, I think the potential of this is, one is it's a super emerging franchise, but what I also like about it is they've been around since 2007. So they're not new. because sometimes you'll see, hey, let's create this idea and then roll it out. And that to me is a new emerging franchise. This is a business that has been successful for almost 20 years and now started franchising. So there's a big difference there. So ultimately, this is not a side hustle. This is for somebody to go into it full time. Now, if you have maybe a little bit of a transition period, that's fine. But they're really looking for people that are going to dive into this business. As you grow this business, you can be a little bit more hands off and work on the business, not in the business. But the beauty of this business model is it's got low overhead. So you don't have a huge monthly nut to keep up with. So I like that for that reason as well. But I think you definitely, on this business model, you definitely have to commit to going full time until you built a business. I don't know if it would work semi-absentee. There are people in other business models that start off semi-absentee. I don't think this would be the best business for semi-absentee. If you're looking to grow your business, I put together an ebook. It's all about utilizing virtual team members and AI together to 10x production. If you're looking to grow organically without having a massive team and massive overhead, this ebook's for you. It's free. You can go to bizscalingplaybook.com, get your copy. It's got all the tools I use, some prompts, and much, much more. It's an evergreen book. We'll continue to add to it. Get your copy now before it's too late. Hey guys, Beau Eckstein here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.